What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Steep Stuff Podcast. I'm your host, James Lariello, and I'm so excited to bring you guys an episode today with Abby Stone. Young gun, just 19 years old. Abby is starting to find her own on the trail scene. This year, Abby jumped onto the scene with a 19th place finish at the Broken Arrow 23K. She's also been working with the trail team and was invited to go race at the WRMA final that was in Slovenia with the rest of the trail team and others in both the vertical and the up-down. Abby's just been on an absolute tear. She just finished up is finishing up a great season, just had a great race at Cirque Series A Basin as well. Abby's got she's in an interesting spot in her career. This year she decided to forego collegiate track and field and go full-time on the trails and pursue a trail running career. So she's part of this kind of new up-and-coming group of young guns that are really transitioning off the roads and off the track and trying to make a go at it at a very young age on the trail scene. So really excited to see where her career is going to take her, and this was a super fun conversation. So I hope you all enjoy it. Without further ado, none other than Abby Stone.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are live.
Abby Stone, welcome to the Steep Stuff Podcast. How's it going?
Thank you. I'm doing good. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. excited to have you on. You've had quite a season so far, and it seems like it's only getting better with your selection to go represent Team USA for the U20 and Worlds. So lots to talk about, lots to be excited about. So
for sure, yeah.
Yeah. Welcome. Are you you're hanging out in Colorado Springs this week, aren't you?
I'm in Colorado Springs. Yep.
Is that your first time running around?
First time out here.
Yeah. Trails. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You
gorgeous.
It? Yeah. It's cool. It's cool stuff, right?
Just went to Garden of the Gods this morning. Okay. Amazing.
Yeah, you liked it?
Yeah.
Springs are dope. There's a lot of good mountain trails and stuff like that around. All right, let's dive into it. Maybe for the audience that might not be familiar with you, maybe give me the 5-minute elevator pitch on who is Abby Stone.
Okay. Yeah, my name is Abby Stone. I have been running since about 7th grade competitively. Ran through high school and then started running at UVU. It's Utah Valley University. It's based in Orem, Utah. Just below Salt Lake. Ran there for about a year, broke my foot during track, so then that kind of halted some things during the steeplechase. And then I randomly decided to join the Broken Arrow Skyrace. So that was my first trail race. And then placed pretty good there. And then that got me selected for the USA team for Worlds in September. And so I kind of decided to choose trail over college running. And then, just been racing a couple times this summer and slowly making the transition towards trail running. So it's been really fun.
That's amazing. What a summer.
Yeah, it's been a really fun summer. Yeah, outside of running, I'm a yoga teacher. I'm learning, I guess learning's a weird, but training to be a paramedic. So I'm going to EMT school just in a month. And then I'll go to the paramedic school in January, hopefully. So yeah, that's me.
Very cool. Very cool. So let's talk a little bit about just getting started with track and field, UVU and stuff like that, running at the collegiate level. What was it like for you coming out of high school, transitioning to college? Was it a whole recruiting process for you? Was it an easy process? How did it work for you?
Yeah, I had a hard time picking what college. I didn't decide until June like after I'd already graduated. And then, yeah, I got recruited by UVU, ran there for a year. I loved it. Team was amazing. Kind of struggled through my freshman year. Like I got pneumonia during cross, so I only raced like twice and then raced one track season or one track race and then broke my foot. So all besides that, it was great.
Oh my gosh.
But
were you on the team with Oakley Olsen?
I was, yes.
Big fan of
So
Oakley.
yeah, Oakley actually invited me to Lake Tahoe because she was racing Broken Arrow. And I wasn't even going to plan to race because the wait list was so long. And I'm like, you know what, might as well try to get on it. So like a week before the race, I got off the wait list. So that's when I decided to race. So she got me into the steeplechase, got me into trails.
That's
Love
crazy.
her.
All right, so I'm going to throw you a question that I ask every steepler that comes to the trails. What is it about the steeple that you think makes, because it seems like steeplechase runners are just so good at trail running. What is it that you think makes them good trail runners, like coming from the steeplechase?
Yeah, it is funny the crossover. I think like it's a gritty race. It's a hard race. I think just like that strength of steeplechase that you have to have translates really well to trails. Attracts that like same grittiness of people. And so I think that's the crossover in my head. Yeah, it is interesting.
Yeah, they're all good.
Connection.
Like there's nobody's bad that comes from the steeplechase. Like they're all really talented. That's kind of crazy. All right, so let's talk a little bit about Broken Arrow. I feel like that's a touch point we got to get into. Being only 19 years old, you enter your first Broken Arrow VK in 23K. You get top 20 in the 23K, which is a Golden Trail Series race. Did you have any expectations for race day? Like, did you have any idea what to expect? Like, did you just pretty much like walk into it kind of blind? Like, what was like what? I guess what were the emotions and everything kind of going into this race? Like, how were you feeling?
It was kind of a wild experience. So I was only planning to race the VK, and then the 23K had a super long wait list. Like, there was no way I was going to get into it. And then all weekend, like, I'm talking to everybody. Everyone's doing the 23K. And I'm like, have all this FOMO. So I'm like, I want to do it too. And there was 10 open spots that they had like day of registration. And you had to get there at like 4 a.m. So I just decided on a whim the night before, like, okay, I'm just going to try to get into it. Like, might as well, you know? So got there at like 4 a.m, waited like an hour, and then just got into the race the day of. So I had zero expectations. Like I've never done a race longer than like a 10K, like on a road too. So like I had no idea what I was getting myself into. So yeah, the whole time I was just having fun, just kind of treated it like a normal, just fun run in the mountains. So yeah, honestly didn't really feel like a race. Like I was just having fun.
That's
smiling the whole time. So
Did you like, what did you think as far as, I mean, obviously you got a little bit of a taste of it in the VK the day before, like the mass start, and it's like so competitive and everybody is there. Did you get into like, how was it racing other ladies? Like, was it like, especially because there was a lot of Europeans there, like Europeans run very aggressive. Like it's a little bit different than the American scene in some ways. Or were you by yourself in no man's land? Like how did the race unfold for you is what I'm trying to find out.
Yeah, so I actually didn't start with the elite women because I registered like the day of. I couldn't get into that. So I was kind of running with like some 40-year-old men most of the time.
Nice.
And then I kind of like after 6 miles, I was running by myself the whole time. So it kind of didn't feel like a race in that sense, just because I was just out in the mountains normally, like how I am. And so, yeah, competitively, like I didn't really get a taste of that in that race. But just being in that environment, especially like finishing, and I'm like, oh, whoa, there's some big, big names here. So yeah, that was cool.
So that's nuts. That makes that makes your finish even crazier, because the fact that like you're top 20 and you didn't even start with the elite women who all started a couple minutes ahead of you. So you had to reel some of these people in, and like, you know, you don't have anybody to key off of other than like old dudes. Like it's kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy. Like, so yeah, that's amazing. So
thank you.
What did it feel like after? Like, were you like automatically hooked? Like, oh my gosh, I love this sport. Were you like, I don't know. I feel like for some people, they try the sport and they're like, okay, like this is something I can immediately, especially if you have early success, you're like, okay, I can immediately figure out how to get good at this. Was it something like that where you got kind of bit by the bug?
Oh, immediately. Like, even before that race, just the whole trail environment, I got addicted to so fast. Like everyone there is so cool. It's kind of a different feeling of coming from like a college running where like the competition is not as like fun and lighthearted. Like it's more like businessy and like you're just there to race, which is fun in of itself. But yeah, the trail world is so fun, and so I got addicted very fast. Yeah, and after that race, just talking to people, I'm like, okay, I think this is what I want to do. Like I kind of found my niche in running. So
Very
opened
cool.
my eyes a lot.
Now, so I know you've been kind of hanging out with the trail team, and we'll get into like your Germany adventure as well. But maybe talk about like, was that how you got kind of like hooked up with Andy Wacker and that group with the trail team? Is that kind of how you got introduced to them?
Yeah, so going back to Oakley, like that first day, the Thursday we got there, the trail team met up for a shakeout run. And so there, like I met everybody. And that's when I met Andy Wacker and kind of talked throughout the weekend, not like a ton. And then he just reached out like a couple weeks before Germany and was like, hey, like want to come to our trail training camp and then race. So yeah, that's kind of when I met everybody and got that connection. So
Super cool.
thank you, Oakley.
Yeah, Oakley is amazing. And like
Yeah.
Andy's the man. Like Andy,
Mhm.
yeah, I feel like he's just how he has brought so many new people into the sport and just in his own way continues to grow the sport, which is really cool and contribute
No,
to
it's
it.
incredible. Yeah, he's doing
What,
big things.
let's talk Germany. Like what was that experience like? Because not only did you obviously raced over there, and also you kind of had your camp. What was the camp like? How did that roll out?
Oh, the camp was amazing. We had an incredible group of people. I felt very young. Like everybody has all this experience, so it was really cool to learn from everybody, and just be around like an elite group of trail runners. Yeah, that was incredible. So gorgeous there. I've never been to Europe, so I was really excited to at least go to Europe before Worlds, just kind of get that experience of traveling over there, dealing with the jet lag and everything. And then, yeah, getting to race with all them too was huge. Getting that experience, international racing, racing with all the Europeans. The Europeans are crazy. They're so fast.
They are nuts.
It's insane. Yeah, I was intimidating for sure. Like that first race, just standing on the start line, and I'm just looking around. I'm like, oh my gosh, like these are like all like pro trail runners, like they're huge, big names. But it's cool just to have no expectations. Like I really have nothing to base anything off of. So it's fun just to throw myself in those races and just have fun and see what I can do. So
Super cool.
it was cool.
What about so the trip itself? Maybe talk about like where, like location wise, and like what you guys did, like as far as different runs that you would do as a group, and like just the community you get to build, like eating dinner together and spending time together, and like building this camaraderie. Like, what is that like?
Yeah, so it was in Garmisch, Germany. I had no idea Germany was like a cool mountain place. I don't think most of it is, but kind of in the south part of Germany, kind of on the Alps side. So we all stayed in the hotels together right there. And then, yeah, first day, we did, it's called the Wank. It's this big, like 14-mile run. So gorgeous. Yeah, all ran together and then just spend the rest of the day, like when ice bathing in the river, eating dinner together, taking some fun photo shoots. Next day, did another cool run. I forget what it's called. All the German words, I can never remember them. Absolutely gorgeous run, but ate lunch at like the top of this big peak and then rode the tram down, which is really fun. Yeah, gorgeous runs. Gorgeous, gorgeous. I'm like trying to think what else.
What about the so let's talk about the team component a little bit. So like
Yeah.
you guys, do you branch off for separate runs? Everybody kind of runs together. Like will they like does Andy like plan the route like the day before? Like, hey, tomorrow we're gonna go do this and we'll do this as a group. Like how does it structured from these camps? And like what's
Yeah,
the
so
goal to get out of it?
yeah, Andy planned the runs. So we'd all just kind of run together. Obviously guys are a lot faster, so kind of split up in little groups, but all kind of go up the top together. Team component was huge. Like again, I said like there's just such a good group of people there, all super supportive. We all became like friends immediately, which was really cool. Yeah, amazing community. I loved it.
Very cool. So from there, you guys go and you race. What are we, about a week and a half removed now from the WMRA Vertical World Cup final, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So that's 5.7 miles, 4,100 feet. It's a beast of an uphill race. Let's talk about that. Like, obviously it went pretty well for you. What'd you get? Top 20, top 25? Like, you had a great result. What was it like racing over there against the Europeans? Like I said, like, they're very aggressive. It's just different style of racing. Like, how did that unfold for you?
Yeah. So the first day, which was like the 5.7 with like the super steep, that was steep. It was hard, but super cool. You climb for about 3 miles and then it opened up to like these grass fields. And so it was just a kind of a fast mile right before the very finish. So that was kind of fun, kind of felt like cross country. Everyone got a little speed in them. Yeah, it's interesting seeing like the Europeans' different tactics. Like a lot of them are really strong climbers, fast power hikers, which surprised me. Like I'll be running and like I'm getting passed by this European just power hiking next to me. Like it's crazy. Yeah, so that kind of taught me a lot, like when to hike, when to run. It was really cool. Yeah, amazing race. Kind of running through the clouds. We finished at the top. There for a couple hours, just hanging out with everybody. So yeah, really cool. Next day, about the same mileage, like a little less steep, so it was a lot faster. Kind of rolling up and down, more of like a classic style. And it was a little bit of a struggle. I was a little more dead, but it was fast. It was fun. So.
Oh, so you did. Yeah. I didn't realize that. So you did back to back. You raced the so the mountain classic, if you will, and the vertical.
Yes. Okay. Yeah.
Is that? I mean, obviously, track and field is a little bit different. Where I don't think you don't do back to back days in track and field. Like, is this the first time you've done like back to back on something like that, especially for like a mountain race?
Yeah, not mountain races. Like track, you can get away with doing back to back, like a 1,500 one day, 800 the next day. Like it's not too bad. But these are like hour and a half hard races where you're just like going hard the whole time. So it's a little hard to double back on them. But I think the next day having like more of the downhill and the speed kind of got away with it a little more. But I definitely struggled more on the second day. But it was fun.
How do you think the climbing like transfers for you, especially coming from like a track and field background? Like is climbing more your jam or is descending more your jam? Like what do you like better?
I have always been like ever since high school, like hill workouts are my jam. Like that's where I thrive off of. And like leading up into it, ever since I broke my foot, my doctor was like, hey, like for the next few weeks, don't run on roads, just stay on soft surfaces. I'm like, all right, like I'll just be on trails. So I just run trails all over like May and June. So I got kind of a really good climbing base at the beginning of the summer. And then I've kind of just been building off of that the whole summer. So climbing, I would say, like, is my strong suit. And then the downhill, like, I still do have some of that track speed, like, it hasn't been that long. So that's been helpful to kind of have that turnover for the downhill. Still working on it, like, just getting over that fear. I trip a lot.
Yeah, we like, all do. Don't
once or twice a week. But one step at a time.
Very cool. How does it change your perspective on the sport now that you've gotten to, because you got to remember, like people come into the sport. Yeah, maybe somebody will race a Broken Arrow in their first year, but very few individuals get the opportunity to go race abroad in their first year, especially something for like a WRMA, like World Cup final, stuff like that. Like this really sets you up for a very bright future in the sport. Like how has it maybe changed your perspective at all?
Oh, it's been huge. My eyes have been opened up so much to running. Like there's so much more to running than just cross country and track. Surprise, surprise. Yeah, I didn't realize honestly how competitive trail running and mountain running is until I got into it. I'm like, oh, this is hard. Like, I think you hear like people like, oh, they went pro trail runner because they weren't fast enough on track or road. But no, it's like a completely different sport, like terrain completely different. Like, I mean, running's running at the end of the day, but it honestly feels like a whole nother sport. So it's really interesting.
Yeah, it's crazy. Now I guess I'll double back. So you obviously made the world's team. You're going to be going to compete at the U20 division for the world's team in just a few weeks. Did you get any advice maybe? So I know Oakley was last year the collegiate U.S. national title holder. And did you get maybe some advice from her, even though she didn't go over to compete at a world's event? Maybe any advice from any peers to be able to go over? Like, how do you feel about kind of going to represent Team USA?
Yeah. So Oakley actually, kind of the reason I applied for the U20 team, because she did it when she was my age. She applied for it. So she went to Thailand for the Worlds.
Right. That's right.
Yep. So yeah, she's been huge mentoring me through this whole trail experience. So I gotten a ton of advice from her and just getting that confidence built up, especially because I realized a lot of the U20, it may have changed now, but a lot of them don't have a ton of experience trail racing just because some of them are coming out of high school, early in college. Like there's not really a ton of time for that. So I'm kind of excited to kind of build that confidence of having like a few trail races in me and bringing that to the World Championships. Of course, like the Europeans have been doing it forever, so that's a different story. But yeah, it'll be cool. I'm excited.
It's crazy. Like it's the biggest stage in our sport, more or less, like for short trail, at least for like what we do. Like it's pretty cool. Do you have any expectation, or is it just going to be like, all right, let's just see what happens? Like I almost like even mentally myself, I don't even know how to approach a race like that, just because it's like, do you just do your best, or do you like have competitive aspirations? It's like, I don't know, it's kind of difficult, right? With just how deep these fields are.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like a whole different, like my first time racing international was like a week ago. So it's kind of, I don't really know what to expect, honestly. And this will even be different because it's like, I'll be on the oldest side of people who I'm racing, where as last week, I was the youngest by like a couple years. So yeah, it'll be completely different than what I've ever done before. I think my whole thing with trails, like before trails, I've never been a big racer. Always hated racing, like cross country and track. And then as soon as I stepped on trails, like had the funnest time. So it's kind of interesting going into a race where I'm actually like excited to race. Like it's kind of a weird feeling to me because normally I'm like dreading races. So being excited to race, I'm pretty stoked about that.
Let's unpack that a little bit. Cause like, I don't think the average person listening to this might not understand, like you kind of glossed on it in the beginning of the conversation where you said like track and field is business. Like it's a different sport in a lot of ways. Whereas like trail running is, at the pointy tip of the spear, trail running is very competitive, but it's also dialed back in its own way. When you step on a start line, for you, there are no nerves now, I guess. Is that true? Like how does maybe talk about that? Like, or are you nervous like at all to race?
Yeah, I think it's kind of a different type of nerves, honestly. Like cross country and track, there was just so much expectation I probably put mostly on myself, honestly. But trails, and it might change later. I hope it doesn't as much, but trails is like you're just open, you're exposed. You're not like in a stadium where everyone's like watching you in every second of a 200, Like I think that's why I love it. Like just I'm not as nervous when I'm just out in the mountains. Like for high school, I'd like go trail running just to get away and just have fun. So I think that's kind of that root of that just keeps the nerves out.
So I know you went to UVU. Are you originally from Utah as well?
Yeah, born and raised in Orem. So
oh wow. Okay, so you're like, so I find that really cool, just because not necessarily like, I don't know, between Orem and Salt Lake, there's, always a strong mountain running and trail running contingent. Like there's a lot of people that you can look to from that area. Like mountain running is a thing, is what I'm trying to say. It's not quite Boulder, but like you kind of get immersed and understand what it is from a young age, I would imagine. Is that correct?
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Like we were always out trail running. I never, like there's not a ton of trail races. Well, I guess there's Cirque Series. I didn't really know about a ton of trail races, I guess, on my end. But like we were always competitive with like the Strava segments up on like trails. Like Tim Oakley has the record on one side. I have the record on the other side. So it's kind of fun just like do little records throughout the mountains. Yeah, it's a great place to go trail running. Christian Allen, he's also from Orem. He'll also be in World. So yeah, we got a good community of trails.
Yeah, that hair,
awesome.
That hair and the mustache. That's
yep.
I'm gonna have him on.
It's soon. Iconic.
I love Christian. Yeah, interesting guy. Interesting. So cool. I don't know. I just find it really interesting. I always like to trace things back to like roots, just because I feel like when you get exposed to these things at a young age and learn them at a young age, it's almost like the Europeans in a lot of ways. You grow up in the mountains and it just teaches you so many things that the average person from a different part of the country might not know. And it really morphs people into young ages as a good mountain runner, which is kind of evident in yourself, which is pretty cool. So it's definitely neat. Let's talk about a race you're going to do tomorrow. So you're racing Cirque Series A Basin, correct?
Yes, I am. I'm excited.
Is that your first Cirque Series race?
So I did Snowbird back in the beginning of July.
Okay.
That was a rough race, I'm not gonna lie. It was kind of the same time, like the night before, where I was kind of deciding between still continuing to run with UVU in college and trying to pursue trails. So I went into that race very stressed out of my mind, so didn't really get to enjoy it. So I'm excited to just be able to run and have fun tomorrow in the Cirque Series. So
yeah.
So
much fun. Yeah. They are, in my opinion, like the best. I mean, if you like the mountain classic distance, just like the best purest version of a track meet in the mountains, like that's as close as you're going to get. I think that's the best way to describe it. Yeah. I was at Targhee last weekend, and while I didn't have the race I wanted, like just that the courses are just so fun, and just the ability just to try and get the best out of yourself is awesome. So you're in for a treat, and it's a good field. Like Courtney Coppinger is going to be there. There's going to be a lot of really strong men and women. So it'll be
for sure. No, I'm stoked. It'll be fun. Yeah.
So you kind of hit on something a few minutes ago about this decision, and you can kind of feel free, like go in depth as you'd like to, keep it surface level if you want. Obviously, there was a lot to tussle with, just deciding whether or not you want to continue your track career or track and cross country career at college, or make that decision to go to trails. Like, I feel like this is a massive decision to make. Like, maybe kind of unpack that a little bit. Like, what was that like for you? It must have been extremely hard.
Yeah, it's been honestly a wild couple months. So even before Broken Arrow, after I broke my foot, where I wasn't running for a couple months, I kind of started to question even like continuing to run in the NCAA anyways. Like I know I've always, like I want to run for my whole life. That's not a question. I just honestly didn't love like the businessy side of it and just all that pressure and expectation to like perform in order to be on the team or like get a scholarship or all of that. So that was already kind of in the back of my mind. I was just going to go through this next year and then kind of reevaluate it anyways. And then after getting selected, I went back and forth with some coaches. It just kind of wasn't working out. So eventually I just decided like, okay, I think I'm just going to be done and just focus on trails. And honestly, it worked with my career path anyways, because I want to go to paramedic school. That wasn't going to work with running in college anyways. So I'd have to go to the nursing program. I don't want to be a nurse. So it would just add on years and time. So that worked out great. But it was a big decision, like a lot of stress leading into that. But also at the same time, like, yeah, it felt like my life was like falling apart all at once, but it kind of just fell into place. Everything just kind of worked out. So yeah, it was a wild few months, but I'm happy where I'm at. I'm happy with my decision. So
do you feel like a weight is lifted off now? Like, do you feel just like,
oh, definitely. Yeah.
It sounds like it. I mean, I mean, obviously like at 19 years old, like I'm old. I'm 34. And I think about like, oh my gosh, like to have been 19 years old and think about to make decisions like that, like it's a big decision to make. So yeah, I got to applaud you for, it sounds like you made the right one. I just love when folks talk about like, you're kind of, I like when folks take bets on themselves. Like you're going to bet on yourself to try this trail running thing. Right. And, there's a lot of opportunities now in the sport that were not afforded to older, like my generation and the generation before then. But like now, like this new class is coming in and there's opportunities to get these sponsorships and really turn this into like a career, which is kind of amazing to think about.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, definitely. I think my biggest hesitation was like all these trail runners, they do it after their college career, into like their late 20s and stuff. And so there was always the hesitation of like, wait, am I even like old enough to do this? Like, am I starting too early? Am I just like kind of shooting myself in the foot that way? But at the end of the day, I'm like, I love it. I want to do it. So why not just start it right now? And honestly, I've heard that of a lot of trail runners. Like they wish they would have started earlier and not just pushed through college, because sometimes it ruins their relationship with running, and that was the last thing that I wanted. So yeah, I'm happy where I'm at.
It's interesting. I talked to so many folks like D1 on the D1 end that went to like, I don't know, your Iowa States, your Kansas, like a lot of these different like huge schools to run. And I'll say like 9 out of 10 people have a terrible experience. They're like, this was terrible. I didn't like it. And like a lot of them, it really disassociates it really destroys the relationship with the sport. And then it takes years and then they find trail running and they're like, oh, this is really cool. And it just kind of delays the process. And it's like, what could you have been had you found this earlier in a lot of ways? Like that's how we got our Jim Walmsley. That's how we got a lot of our best athletes in the sport, is people that kind of transitioned almost right away after college. So for someone like you that, has a year plus in, it just makes perfect sense. Like it makes a lot of sense for you, like that transition to be able to kind of just go into the sport and learn and develop. And if you're already getting 19th at Broken Arrow, like the sky's the limit at this point. Like there's a lot of opportunity there. So
Yeah, no, I'm stoked. I have a lot of, like, I really want to get into ultras. Not anytime soon, probably in like 10 years. But so I'm like, honestly, I can just focus on this for now, the shorter distance while I still have the speed. And then like sky's the limit. There's endless things to do. I think triathlons could be cool. Like there's so many different avenues to take. So
oh, for sure.
I'm excited.
That's the thing is like you could run you could do your marathon distances, you could do your ultras, your 50Ks, and then mountain classics, VKs. Like it's really cool that there's just so many different, and there's different ways to train for everything, which is kind of neat. So there's like so many different ways to show up for a race fit. What, as far as races go, like you've already done Broken Arrow, you've seen some Cirque Series races, you've raced in Europe. Is there anything that like pops out to you that you're like, oh, that's come across your eye and it's like would be a great bucket list race? Like, is there anything that you've kind of like come across so far?
UTMB, just seeing that last week. I wish I would have stayed. It kills me that we just left like a couple days earlier, but would love to go back to that. Eventually Western States, I think it's definitely on my list. Far down the list, but it's still there.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'd love to do more of just the Golden Trail series. There's a lot of cool races there as well. So yeah, I'm still learning like a lot about trails and races and everything. So I'm sure there'll be more to add to the list, but for now, those are my main ones.
Very cool. Very cool. Yeah, no, there's so much to do. Like it's
so many.
Yeah, and it's crazy. Like I kick myself sometimes because I'll go to the same race like 3 years in a row. I'm like, I should go do some different ones. Like that would be a lot of fun. And so the goal, what do you think for so you'll go to Worlds. After Worlds is over, I'm sure more opportunities will start to pick up for you next year, or as you start to plan your 2026 season. Is there, I guess, as a rough idea, do you think probably more Golden Trail related races you'll probably do, or is there anything like you'll start to kind of target for 2026?
Yeah, still kind of up in the air. Like these past few months, I've kind of just been taking it day by day because so much has changed. I'd love to do more Golden Trail races. I've also looked into the sky running too. I think that could be a huge avenue. They look incredible, really fun races. So yeah, not 100% sure, but we'll see what unfolds.
Cool.
Definitely some more racing though.
As far as the Skyrunner stuff, do you like the techier stuff? Do you like more of the?
I love it.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm a big climber as well. And so like I'll see pictures of that, like just that mix of scramble. I'm like, that's my dream. Like I can climb and run in the same race. Like that's what I want to do. So yeah, I'd love to do more of those.
Oh, wow. Talk about the climbing a little bit. So it's like a hobby that you have, like do you do it competitively, or is it more something just for fun? Like how do you express yourself through it?
Yeah, mostly just a hobby. I've thrown myself in like a couple local competitions. I honestly, this winter, I think I want to get into some more climbing competitions. It's kind of been put on the back burner for running. Like it's kind of hard having the time and energy to actually train climbing as well as trail running. But I think it could be fun to do some competitions. I think like an absolute dream would to be sponsored for like trail running and climbing. So if I could get there, I'd be set. But yeah, it'd be fun.
I feel like it's such a good skill to have. So like most of your trail runners you'll encounter are like usually people like you, just like you in the sense that like came from a traditional track and field, background, but might not have that like scrambling ability or climbing ability. So it's like such a good skill to have. I mean, especially for a lot of these big FKTs, like look at Jane, who just did got the Grand Teton record, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like
incredible.
It's, to be able to do something like that I mean, there's a lot of scrambling and climbing. I guess you could say having
Definitely.
that background just helps so much. So it'll definitely
Yeah,
open a ton of avenues for you in the future.
for sure. And just the exposure aspect too. Being exposed on like those big walls, like the grand, like some sketchy parts. So it's helpful to have that climbing experience.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. What shoes are you running in these days?
I actually just got the Merrill Skyfires like literally 2 days ago. I've been running in them. Love them. Um, I ran in my first pair of trail shoes. I had no idea what to get. I got the Solomon, oh my gosh, what are they called? Sense Ride 5s.
Okay.
And they were great. I didn't really know anything different. So these are like my second pair of trail shoes. And I've been loving them. So I think that's what I'll race in tomorrow. And then hopefully, if I like them enough, racing them for Worlds. So yeah, super light, deeper lugs, which I didn't get with the Solomons, the ones that I had. So yeah, I'm excited about them.
Wow, I like to hear it. It's always interesting to hear what kind of shoes people are wearing these days. Dude, Merrell's legit. They've got a good their
They've got
shoes.
good shoes.
Their shoes are solid. I think slept on. I don't think people really realize like how good some of their stuff is.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. I don't know. I feel like they're not as like known or popular, but they got some good stuff. I'm excited.
Let's get into. I got to ask you this question because I ask everybody this. What like has your why changed as you've kind of entered this sport? Like, have you adopted like a new why, like your why for doing this and wanting to kind of pursue this outlet?
Yeah, that's a good question actually. Um, I've always just like loved running. Like I think I I joke with my parents because when I stopped cross country, like I was like, I honestly don't even know if I really loved cross country. I just loved running. Like that's why I loved it. Um, so my why has just always been just because like it's fun, makes me feel free, just love it. And my goal through high school was like, oh, I'm running to be fast for college. Like I wanted to run D1. And then once I got there, I'm like, okay, what's next? Just kind of in that lull. And then in trails, it's like kind of going back to just that pure love of running, like just seeing where my body can take me, what it can do. Like it's kind of exciting. Like you don't have any expectations and you just get to figure out what I'm capable of. And so I think that's kind of the basis of why I love it, just chasing that unexpected, honestly.
I really like that approach. I love that, and I think it's crazy because like as you'll grow in the sport, things will change. You'll start to look for sponsorships. You'll get sponsorships, and it's like the one thing like I've had to rediscover, and I've rediscovered this lately, is like always get back to just like how fun it is and keep it fun. Keep it for the reason is like you originally got into it, because when you revisit that, it like simplifies the entire sport.
Right.
Makes
Oh,
it fun.
definitely.
On that topic though, as goals change and evolve, as you want to professionalize, because obviously, that seems to be kind of everyone's goal in the sport now. Like, like what do you want to do? Like, where do you want to take this? Like, do you want to make this a career? Do you want to make this, especially because it's, you said you're going to go to paramedic school. Obviously that'll be a career as well. Do you plan to try and balance both of those? Like, how does it look for like, are you like a planner? Do you like plan these things or no?
I would love to say I'm a planner, but I'm honestly not. Like, I kind of just go where things take me. But I would love to make this a career. I'd love to do it professionally. I would love to try and balance paramedic and professional running, but also like the medic is always going to be a job. Like that's not really going to go away anytime soon. So I think this is kind of the priority right now, just see where it takes me. But yeah, we'll see where it goes.
I like it. I think that's a good choice too. That's one that like AI is not going to take away. So
Exactly. Yeah.
good selection there. Yeah.
Thank you.
Not
Yeah.
bad. Not bad.
Yeah. I really want to get into the search and rescue, and like life flight is like my end goal. So I'm like, that's hard to replace. So I feel like I'm safe for a bit.
I agree. Yeah, the robots aren't coming to the mountains. Hopefully, not
Nope.
anytime soon. Yeah, let's talk competition. I ask this question a lot to people. Like, on a scale of like 1 to 10, your competitiveness. Obviously, any person that lines up and toes a line on a race is extremely competitive. But like, how do you approach competition? Is it more you versus you, or is it more you versus those on the starting line?
It's funny you ask that because I feel like I've never viewed myself as a very like competitive person. Like I've never like gotten that angry or like fire when someone passes me, like which I probably need to work on more, honestly. But I would say it's more like me versus me is where I get like the most expectation for myself and like competitive drive. Yeah, I know. I wish I was a more competitive person, but I just am not. But it works. It works out.
Yeah, everybody's unique. Everybody's their own, their own way of doing it. So
Exactly. Yeah.
All right, I think we're pretty close to 45 now. All right, let's get into some ending questions. I got to ask you, who inspires you?
Ooh, it's a loaded question. Oh man.
Benjamin didn't tell you this one was coming?
I know, I should have prepared. There's just so many going through my head.
Kidding.
I think growing up, like I always wanted to do steeplechase. So Emma Coburn was a big motivation to me. Like I've been following her for years. Colleen Quigley. On the trail side, Anna Gibson, I've always looked up to. She's huge. Courtney Delwater. Am I saying her last name right? I might be saying
Courtney DeWalter? Yeah. Yep.
DeWalter. She's huge. Like I watched all of her documentaries about all of her ultras. Like incredible. She's kind of the reason like I looked at ultras. I'm like, that's who I want to be. She's incredible. So yeah, those are probably my biggest motivations. They're incredible.
I'd love to hear Anna Gibson. I'm such a fan of Anna Gibson's.
I know.
When you go to Worlds, that's someone, definitely hang out with her and get to learn more, because that's a consummate professional. That's like one of the best professionals in our sport, hands down. Like she's a killer, hands down.
She's incredible. Yeah.
Incredible.
Inspiring to watch.
Big time. And like, we don't even know how good she is yet. Like she could wind up being the GOAT for all we know. So
yeah,
she's amazing. Let's talk music. Are you a big music person? Do you listen to music on workouts or anything like that? Or
yeah, I never running actually. Like I never really listened to anything running. I kind of run by myself a lot, like on the trails. So I feel like I'm kind of a little spooked to like have music in my ears. Like I want to hear everything around me. But besides that, just driving around, some big artists like Mac DeMarco I love, Grateful Dead I love. Benjamin's kind of getting into like this old like country, like Willie Nelson, John Prine. I've been loving lately.
You listen to some weird music, man. I don't know.
No, it was funny because like when I first met him, he's like, yeah, like we listen to everything. I'm like, all right, everyone says that. Like, come on, like what genre do you like? He's like, no, we actually listen to everything. And like their family really does. Like it's incredible. Everything. And like it's crazy.
Very cool. Very cool.
Yeah.
So no music during workouts. I think that's a good thing. I don't know. I always ask this question because like I meet a lot of people that actually do. Like I will even occasionally listen to music on workouts, and it just depends. I don't know. Like if I'm on the track, I have to have music in, or else I'm just not motivated. Like
No, I get that.
I hate listening to my breathing. It's weird.
It's like meditative though. Sometimes it's just like your breath and your footsteps. It's just prime.
It's true. Well, I want to thank you so much for coming on, Abby. This was a great first conversation. I think we'll have many more, definitely, as your career progresses. We're going to talk after Worlds, so we can kind of like talk about that experience and how that went down for you. And yeah, I'm wishing you the best of luck in your career, and this is going to be really exciting. Welcome to the sport, and can't wait to see what you're going to do. So.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem.
Awesome.
Thank you. Well, what'd you guys think? Oh man, I want to thank Abby so much for coming on the podcast to tell her story. What a cool story. And wishing her the best of luck, not just in the rest of her journey, but as she travels out to Worlds to go compete as a U20 athlete just in about a week and a half, which is kind of crazy. Guys, the best way you can support Abby is to give her a follow on Instagram. You can find her at AbbyStone0. That's Abby, A-B-B-Y, Stone0 as her handle. You can find her just typing in Abby Stone. Give her a follow and let her know what you guys thought about the episode. Guys, if you enjoyed this episode, if you've been enjoying the podcast, please give us a 5-star rating and review on Apple, Spotify, YouTube, or wherever you consume your podcasts. That would be amazing, and that's how we can continue to tell these great stories, and it would help us immensely in being able to continue to get the podcast out to the world and show it to new people. Last but not least, if you guys are in the market for a new pack of some kind, any type of hydration solution, belt, Ultimate Direction has you covered. Use code SteepStuffPod. That's SteepStuffPod, one word. It's going to get you 25% off your cart. Ultimate Direction this past summer just dropped a brand new quiver along with the new 12-liter Ultra Vest and 6-liter Race Vest, both in beautiful aesthetic colorways, nice and dynamic and stretchy. completely different than anything that they've had in the market before, which is really cool. I think these are some really game-changing, innovative products that folks will really enjoy. And then they're at an affordable price point as well. If you want it to be even more affordable, though, like I said, use code SteepStuffPod for 25% off your cart. You're not going to be disappointed. Lots of good stuff there. And they also have some good belts, too. The Ultra Belt and the Comfort Belt are both really nice. Ultra Belt particularly, it's got really solid storage, and it's just a solid belt all around. So, guys, thanks so much. We've got some really cool stuff coming down the pipeline for next week, both for the Pikes Peak Marathon and Ascent, as well as some early stuff for Worlds that we're going to be dropping. Hope you guys have a great rest of your week, and thanks so much for tuning in. Appreciate it.